Okay, so to be able to practice what we've been learning about speaking, we're focusing on how do effective speakers customize their content for their purpose and their audience. Okay, so not only are we practicing public speaking skills, we are also thinking about the content. Okay, what are you going to say? Why are you saying that? And how would it be said if you were in a certain situation? So just keep that in mind as we go through this. Okay. The artist Andy Warhol once said, well, supposedly, in the future, everyone will be famous for 15 minutes. As a result, the expression 15 minutes of fame was born. Its connotation usually refers to someone's brief phase of publicity and attention, and how well the person handles it. Everyone's 15 minutes of fame are different. But even if you don't become world famous and have reporters interviewing you constantly, everyone typically has a moment in life when he or she has to stand up to the microphone to speak. In that moment, you will have to think critically about the situation you're facing and give the best speech that you possibly can. So our goal is not only realize what kinds of speaking are in our everyday lives, but also practice for the speeches that you will give or hear in your lifetime. Okay, so this is our little game here. I'm going to change it up just a little bit. First, it says you were going to randomly draw a paper from a hat to discover what kind of speech you're going to give, but I'm going to actually show you all those choices and let you pick. So you'll get to pick the kind of speech you want. I think that'll help us be a little bit more into it, okay? Then kind of do some light background research on your type of speech. And I can help with this too, providing some examples, reading a transcript, or just get a little bit of information about, your topic and the type of speech and how to do it well. Then there'll be a graphic organizer that you use to kind of go through the example speeches and to notice and understand what you have to do. Then you're actually going to write your speech, the one that you selected. So think about it as like kind of stepping into a character's shoes, and that way it's not necessarily you giving a speech, but it's you presenting yourself as a character, kind of practicing that type of speech. The length on your paper is going to vary, but what matters more is your content and your delivery. So it just needs to be somewhere between like 30 seconds and a minute, 30 seconds. So we can get more specific about that later. And then the trick here is, though, you can't tell anyone like what your speech is about, or what your role is as the speaker, because the game part of it is, as an audience, as we're listening and paying attention and jotting some things down, we are wanting to guess who you are and what your role is and what your topic is. So you don't want to tell anyone, show anyone, and you don't want to necessarily give it away. So when you get up and start your speech, you don't want to be like, "Hi, I'm the President of the United States, and I'm a," So it's kind of like a guess who kind of thing, all right? You do your speech, and then we, as an audience, have to guess, okay? So here are some of the possible topics. Note the type of speech, note who you are, your role as the speaker, and then to whom you would be delivering that speech. I'm just going to kind of scroll through this, so if you need to pause and look, you'll also have this document to look at. Okay, and then this is what we're going to use to analyze the speeches and to score them. So you are wanting to get 4s in the categories, right? And analyzing the speaking situation is by identifying the characteristics. All right, so what are the things that you're noticing about the speech? And then you have to consider the genre, the type of speech, the audience, who would this be delivered to, the purpose, why are you giving this speech as the speaker, and then the style. Is it a more formal address? Is it more informal? Think about your, typing an email to a teacher versus texting your friends, okay, for levels of formality there. So this helps you just kind of break it down. Speaker style, the content of the speech, why this speech would be important. Okay, so this will help you break down and make sure you've got that focus so that we can start preparing to write them.